The 2020 Suzuki Sport, it's a 6-speed manual, price from $29,990 drive away if you go for the white, or about $30,500 if you go for the metallic plates. If you go for the black roof as well, you'd be looking at around $31,000. The 2020 Suzuki Swift, not a lot of difference on the outside. It now does have blind spot monitors up in those wing mirrors. It's powered by a 1.4 litre turbo engine, or a booster jet as Suzuki call it, 103 kilowatts and just over 200 newton meters of torque, driving in this case a 6-speed manual with a very slick gear shift inside. Inside the Suzuki Swift for 2020, it's been given a digital display cluster, well, a centre screen at that, but as you can see it offers up just that little bit more information and it looks pretty good, to say the least. You've got the boost when the engine's up and running, your amount of speed that you're doing, your economy, which in all honesty hasn't been great for this little car. But then you've got all this other info here, including, for those that like a little bit of sporting information, your G-forces, left, right, front and rear. If you like digital audio, you'll have to connect your smartphone, unfortunately, because there's only AM and FM in the tuner here, which is a little bit disappointing also to find in a top-of-the-range vehicle. But if you do your smartphone pairing, you'll be able to use your onboard apps. Although it's a light clutch inside the Swift Sport, it's very easy to get the right gear just when you need it to. We're going through some very lovely sweeping curves and you're just needing to make sure that you've got the right gear to take advantage of where you need to power in and power out at the same time. 3, 2. One of the attraction points of the Swift Sport's manual gearbox is the fact that it has a very light clutch, but it's just not that light that you don't feel that you can't really take advantage of the gears, especially when you're going through some very tight, very sweeping corners where you need to be just in that little sweet spot to take advantage of the torque of the engine and really power out, and then just dab the brakes just enough to sort of settle the car down and then accelerate back out. The clutch point itself, there's a little bit of movement at the top of the pedal, but once you get into it, you can feel exactly where you need to be, and it really makes for enjoying what this tiny little car can really deliver in the right hands. Heading down through this little pass, it's got just some very, very nice tight little corners where you can power through if you've been through here a few times, or you can just dab the brakes, settle it off to the right hand side there on the apex and just let it drift, let it flow, and feel the suspension, as tight as it is, also working in harmony with the chassis. The suspension in this particular car really isn't all that good in regards to taking up lumps and bumps, and even on the smaller little ruts in the road you can feel it just bang crash. It needs a little bit more compliance, but otherwise it's a very sporting setup. As it is always, the Suzuki Swift Sport has been an absolute delight to drive. It's a bundle of fun, just needs a little bit better economy or a bigger tank depending on how you drive it. But outside of that, it's a good one. Check it out at suzuki.com.au. For Will Think TV, I'm Dave Canole.